Hey guys, Michael here. Welcome back to the Edit Place, and today we're talking all about the importance of sound design. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard someone say that, hey, you can have really bad video quality, but still good audio, and everything will kind of be okay. But if you have a great video, but terrible audio, people absolutely cannot watch it. And that is absolutely true. Once you start getting invested in playing around in sound design, you'll realize that you can take your videos to a whole new level. We all have created videos where we simply, have whatever visuals, maybe it's a B-roll compilation or whatever, we slap music on it or a VO and we call it a day. But today I want to break down a trailer that I'm actually working on. Now, my first cut of this terrible was god awful, and thankfully, make sure you always surround yourself with people who give you honest feedback. I showed it to my wife and she was like, that looked cool, but I have no idea what this movie is about. Because again, like I said a minute ago, all I did was utilize the really cool shots that I really liked and basically just made a montage that, because I know what the movie's about because I shot it, it looked cool to me, slapped on some music, a really cool track, and that was about it. But there was no storytelling in there, and storytelling happens both with visuals and also auditory. And so let's dive right into it here. And so to show off a couple moments here,
have you thought of a name for her yet?
You'll notice that I both have VO going, I have music, and then you can see on my timeline here that there's a lot of different audios that you both hear very clearly and some that are very, very subtle. For example, and I gotta throw my headphones on here because I forget all the ones that I put in.
Have you thought of a name for her yet?
We got VO. Now you notice here, baby crying, because this next scene here is her in the hospital. Now, we didn't have a brand new newborn, obviously, so that is all audio. It sells the trick, but it kind of solidifies what is exactly going on in the scene. So because you can hear a faint baby crying and she's rocking back and forth holding this thing, she's got the IV in, you can tell she's in the hospital, it's like boom, okay, she just had a baby. That makes sense.
Olivia agrees.
The devil prowls around like a lion, seeking whom he may devour. He has no control over you unless you give it to him.
Good morning, baby girl.
And again, we added some baby cooing here because this baby just was too good and wasn't making any noise on the shoot day. So the line was given by the actress, but the actual baby cooing noises here, that's all fake.
Something up with your daughter, we need to go now.
This is our destiny.
It's very subtle here, but there's actually a ton going on here. So let's break that down here. We have a door creak from that door opening. We have a heartbeat. We got a cinematic riser going. And to be honest, I was very ignorant of that. Something that I always thought growing up is the risers, the booms and the whoosh and rise to climax, like all that stuff. I thought that was all built into the soundtrack. No, it's not. Like, this is the actual music, which is already cut up. But if I were to just single these tracks out, this is what it would sound like.
Go now.
This is our destiny.
So you can hear how just kind of bland, and especially this last part here, there was no depth to it, kind of just faded out. And then just cut to a different part that I blended. So I use this riser and these multiple hits here to basically bring it all together. So now it sounds like this.
This is our destiny.
Got a heartbeat going. And so not only did it build up that moment, but it also acted as a really good kind of blending transition from one point of the song to the other, since they didn't actually go together and I just cut it together. And so what you really want to do is find the different key moments of whether it's a trailer, your full film, a YouTube video, could be anything. You want to find little moments that you can add these sound design points, and the more you add and the better you get at mixing them together, the better and more elevated your film's going to be. And that's really kind of the key, is not only adding everything together, but also mixing it, knowing that if something is far away, don't make it as loud as the audio of a person talking. And yeah, so sound design is really something that you can kind of play with, and the more you get into it, the more different tips and tricks you'll learn of how to make things blend together. You also get creative for being like, oh, I want this just to go in the left ear, this just to go on the right channel. And then obviously you can go crazy with films and go like 5.1 surround sound and even further than that, but we'll stay to pretty basics here today. Now you may be wondering, where am I getting all this, or these sound packs? Am I recording fully myself? And it's a mix. We did do some fully sound on the days of shooting, which if you don't know what that is, that's simply, if someone's running through the woods, well, the person with the mic isn't going to be able to run next to the person who's running in the woods while you're filming them. So what you do is, after you get your visuals take with the cameras and everything, you may go back with just the audio person, and they'll hold the mic to the ground and have someone kind of run the same path, or maybe get some rub some leaves together. There's a bunch of random sounds that they may use for later. But if you don't think of doing that, or you don't have the resources to create it, you can use a service that I use called Soundly. Now, I heard of these guys through Film Riot, and this honestly is one of the greatest pieces of software out there. It's a huge library of different sound VFX recorded by people, and they're full commercial licenses, so you can use these in whatever you want. It is a subscription model, which you can check for latest pricing, as everything will be linked in the description below. But what's awesome about it is just how fast and easy it really is. So again, I can search running woods, and we can see that we get a whole bunch of different options here, different times, and I can go through and I can listen to them. I believe you guys should be able to hear these as well. And so here's something I didn't even think about, getting just birds in the wood, general atmosphere and things like that. So maybe I wanted a piece of this. And with a lot of different asset builders and packs and things like that, what I would normally need to do is either export or save this out somehow, and then import it into whatever NLE editor you're using, put it in an assets folder, organize it. It takes time, right? You just want to build a bunch of these assets in one place. So here, all I have to do is highlight the portion that I want. So it can be the whole thing, it can be just a small section, and then I simply just click and drag it into whatever editor I'm using, drop it in, and now it's there. In the preferences of Soundly, you actually choose where you want everything to be stored, so that way, it is actually downloading these assets in the background. And so let's say I want to put this at the part where she's running through the woods. Just kind of find that spot here. Let's say I want to fade it in right here. So now that we have it roughly at the spot we want, but obviously if I play back here, you can see that overpowers the music and everything. So now you actually have to mix it. And that's where we bring up our mixing board. So I can see here simply that we're on 22 here. So I can see as it starts to play, it is way louder than anything else. And so I'm going to bring this way down, probably -30. And up a little bit more. I can still hear it, but again, it's still a little overpowering. This sound I really want. Alright, so I can just barely hear it, and that's perfect for this sound effect. Again, you want to pick and choose. If you're focusing on an element that's really supposed to be like you want to draw attention to, make it a little bit louder in the mix. But something like this is just atmospheric, and you want to get to the point where you subconsciously can hear it, know it's there, but it's not drawing attention to itself. And yeah, there you have it. That is some basics on sound design. And then if you want to check out Soundly or any other sound design resources, I'll have them all linked in the description below. Thanks for checking out the Edit Place, and I'll see you guys in the next video.